Okie dokie. So I figure that this might be good to help everybody kind of get an idea of where to find things on our Google Classroom. Sorry for not getting this out a little bit earlier. I thought it would be kind of okay, but just to be safe. So when you hop onto Google Classroom, you want something that looks like this, right? So I'm going to use my Block 3 class just as an example. All right, so I've got Block 3, we've got whatever else, we got a picture of Lulu up there, that's really nice, all right? So what you're going to want to do is in the stream, right? I know it's really tempting to just like click the stuff that you need to do and be done with it. But in the stream, I'm going to be posting something, right? So in this case, it says read this first, so you should read this first. I'm going to have a post like this every week. It's going to have what week it is, it'll have any announcements we need, and then the important part is down at the bottom. It's going to link to this Algebra 1B plan, or if you're in my geometry class, it'll say Geometry B plan. All right, so in that plan is where you're going to find what the plan is for the week. Duh, that's what the name is. So it's going to have what week it is up in the top there, right? It's going to have our different learning targets down the middle. And then over here is kind of the important part for you folks, right? So you'll see that I have it broken down into chunks, right? So day 1, day 2, day 3. Every class is going to meet 3 times a week for 1 hour apiece, right? So what the hope is that on day 1, this is the only stuff I'm asking you to do, and I would suggest doing it in the order that I've got over here, right? So for the first one, it's like, oh, watch this YouTube video. Oh man, let's go to this YouTube video. Oh, would you look at that? It's a video by me. Wow, isn't that fancy? Right, you can go ahead and go on through it, right? If you need to pause and you want to try a problem on your own and see if you get it right, that's not a bad idea, right? So there might be a YouTube video. It says like it might not be a bad idea to take some notes. I'm also going to try my best to make sure I link to a filled-in version of the notes. So that way if you want to go back to them, you don't need to go and watch the entire video again. Right? Sometimes what's written on here might be a little bit different than what I write in the video, right? So try and do both. Right? Then it'll have different activities, right? Some of the activities I'm asking you to do are just in here, right? Like this thing called a quizzes. It's like a Kahoot with memes, which is pretty dope, right? What that means is that you're still going to have to check this plan to make sure that you're doing the right things, right? These quizzes, right, are going to count as assessments, right? Like formative assessments. So I'm going to be putting these in the gradebook. I can go back and I can check and see who's done it and who hasn't and how you did and all that. So please make sure that you're checking this plan document, whether it be for Algebra 1B or whether it be for Geometry B. Right? It's also telling you what thing to do what day. Right? So after you've watched the YouTube video and completed the quizzes, then it wants you to go and do the naming and identifying polynomials thing. Right? So naming and identifying polynomials is in the classwork tab. That's this first one right here. I'm not going to click into it because I don't want people to see other people's grades and all that, but then you would click there, then you would do that assessment. Right? Make sure you hit turn it in, then you're all set for that day. On day 2 of whatever class, right, we've got a slightly different learning target. It's got all that. It's got another video, different notes, different assignment to do. Right? So you'd go back and you'd say, oh yeah, adding and subtracting polynomials. It told me to do the adding and subtracting polynomials. Cool, that's the thing, right? Sometimes there will be things you want to be extra careful of, right? Be sure to check the example if you have trouble, right? This assignment may not be particularly easy to do on the computer, right, if you're not familiar with it. So I did is I put an example together to kind of help out, right? But that's the thing, is make sure that you're checking this plan first, right? It'll tell you what's kind of expected on each day. Now, the reason that I'm posting everything all on Mondays is that, say that you don't have a block 3 or whatever, and you just want to get everything out of the way, right? What you could do is you could say like, oh, maybe I'll try and get 2 days of math done today, and then I'll save the 3rd day for later in the week. I'm trying to give you guys the flexibility to do this whenever it fits into your schedule, right? I know that some of you might have extra responsibilities at home, right? Taking care of younger siblings, trying to pick up some of the slack during this weird couple of weeks. And so anytime that you have to get these things done, that's fine. It doesn't need to be on the first day, the second day, the 3rd day specifically, right? Do it when it fits for you. Right? But again, try and follow what's going on this tasks and assignments part. I put these in a specific order so that hopefully they kind of lead into one another, and that might help make things seem a little bit easier. Right? The other thing to notice is that on the stream, right? On this post that's kind of like, again, on the front page, especially this week, I've got this distance learning with Pogg, right? So this is kind of like our rubric for everything. It's got all the different classroom codes. It's got contact info. You can click this little link to, and it should hopefully send you straight to emailing me. You can also Google chat with me, right? If you just like hit the little plus down in the Google Hangouts section, I'm sure that you have talked with your friends in the past. If you just search Pogg, I'm the only one that'll show up. Right? You can send me a quick message that way if you don't want to send an entire email. Right? This distance learning with Pogg document has like a little bit of a welcome. It's got our schedule if you want to take a look at it. It's got the different class lessons, and then it's also got this bit about grading. Right? So grading might change, right? This piece down here says that depending on how things are going, it might change depending on what the summatives look like. If I'm being honest with you, I don't know what summatives are going to look like yet. Right? I will update you and I'll let you know once I know, right? Because I know that you're all really chomping at the bit to get to taking a test, right? But the important part for now is we've got our work completion, right? So work completion is something that I'm still going to be grading, right? Because it's based off of completing work. I'm going to be posting a work completion grade every Friday, hopefully, right? I'm going to be grading it every Friday. It might not go in until a little bit later in the weekend, depending on how crazy things are, right? But take a read through this, right? Basically, what it's saying is, if you're at a meets, that means that you're turning in most things by the due date. You're providing mostly detailed responses, and then you're like engaging with other people, right? This whole process is going to be pretty difficult if you're never asking for help and you're trying to do everything entirely on your own, right? Even if you just want to check in and say like, hey, am I doing this right? Send me an email, right? I'm literally supposed to be at my laptop the entire school day, right? So send me an email. If you find yourself, like, oh man, I got a 2 or a 1 on work completion, send me an email, right? I have a whole lot of you this trimester. Right? I would encourage you strongly to reach out to me if you ever get stuck on something or if you're ever not sure where to find something, that I'm here to help. Right? So I'm hoping that this is a little bit helpful, right? So just to kind of recap, on your classroom page, right, you've got all your different classes. Click into ours, read whatever post for the week, and I will be linking the plan, right? Check over the plan and think about like, all right, have I done this, this, and this? All right, cool. Now it's time for me to do the naming and identifying polynomials quiz. All right, cool. I finished all of day 1. Right? On day 2, I watched the video, I looked at the notes, I'm going to complete that thing. Right? It kind of lays out what to do on each day. And again, if you have trouble finding anything, let me know. If any of the links don't work, let me know. I will help you out. All right. Hoping this helps, and I will be out of here now.